Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again with a new movie, found footage movie. Well, 70% footage, 30% just real time, without cameras. I mean, found footage style. It's a movie that's pretty delicate, and I was really scared to go in there because I read in the reviews that for people it can come over as torture porn, snuff, whatever. I don't like Hostel. I don't like those movies where people are just carved up without I mean, just no backstory, just carving people up for the sake of it. And the movie is called Undocumented, from 2010. Um, this movie in America, a big problem right now is immigration, right? Uh, Now, I'm not from America, of course. I'm from Belgium, but I work as a security guard at a refugee center. But the people there are South Americans, Turkish, African people. They're from all over the world, and what they get is 3 meals a day, a bed to sleep in, infirmary care, and that's their uh, privilege they have here. But after 2 weeks, they have to go to Brussels in front of a judge. And usually, if you come from a war-torn country, you can stay. If you don't, like for example, I had a Turkish family that was so sweet, and they were and that's the problem. I don't want to really do that job because I get attached. I'm a person that gets attached. A lovely child. The woman was learning our language. They really wanted to, you know, but 99% for sure they would be sent back. They came from East Turkey. Now in Turkey, there's no war, but you have the west and the east side. The east side is a much poorer side than with the west side. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And this movie is about, of course, Mexican immigrants that pay a coyote, the people who put these people through tunnels to the United States, pay them thousands and thousands of their dollars to do everything they have. The coyotes themselves are criminals just for taking everything they have. Now, a American documentary team with Travis, the director, Liz, the producer, and Jim, the sound guy, and David and William, the cameraman. Now, David is a legal alien, not illegal, illegal Mexican alien. He can talk Spanish, so you have somebody who can. And they're following a family, which one of them is still in Mexico, and he's gonna try to come in, called Alberto, and his family, a wife and a son, and a daughter. Yeah. So they travel to Mexico, go to this place where the coyote is, pay him. He's a scumbag because he constantly ups the price because he knows they're gringos. Uh, but eventually they say no, this or that, or fuck off, and they say okay, he's okay. But he's saying in Spanish that the Liz, a blonde-haired, beautiful woman, and he wants to fuck her in the ass, and he's like that, right? So they go to this tunnel and they find a dead, rotting body that seems to be tampered with in the tunnel. A few run back, and the rest goes through to the United States, puking their guts out. Now, this body has a significance. Now, I do. Um, I'm gonna spoil a lot, but I'm not gonna spoil the ending. Now, Eventually, the coyote brings them to a place where there's a little truck, with a box where it can all fit in, and a driver. Now they go in there, and you hear somebody saying, "Get out of the vehicle, please," and you think it's ICE, right? Border Patrol. That's the official, right? The official police that guards the borders and the ports. They put the immigrants in a refugee center, and they also have. What I understand is, but now, of course, with the Trump administration, I don't know because they want. What I heard is they even want to put legal aliens out of the country. So I don't know. I don't know. But this movie does let me feel that I don't have a bad life here. That I really have a good life here in Belgium, and that everything, we have everything, and that's just the way, you know. It sometimes you take it for granted. Um, Now the guy who steps out of the van, he gets his head smacked to the van, and the guy that hold stopped him goes in. They drive to an abandoned cattle compound. Now they all are, the moment they open the hatch, they say you have 10 seconds to take all your clothes off, or we will shoot fire. Okay, we shoot, and eventually a shot is lost, a shot is fired, but the Americans are the American documentary team. So we're Americans, we're Americans. Eventually, they are interrogated really aggressively, like, look in my wallet, look at my wallet. You want your wallet? Throws it at his head. They're bounded with their eyes. One doesn't really want to give his name, and he gets cattle prod and teased, and then and one guy says, if you think this is gonna end well, you are damn wrong. That's so you already know they're fucked. Now apparently Z is the leader. Okay, but they all have masks on. Nobody sees who's who. Z says to Travis and his team that they would allow them to leave if they film what's happening there. They call themselves the Patriots. So it's basically this vigilante group. And I remember when January 6th happened in America, they had all these vigilante groups with Proud Boys and whatever. And I know these groups exist in America that want to take matters in their own hands. So these guys do that too. They don't involve ICE or the government. They just do what they want to do, and that's torture immigrants, the legal immigrants. Now, one of them was a drug mule, so that was one of the bad seeds. The rest were good, no risks, but he was a drug mule, so he had balloons of cocaine in him. And I want to put a balloon, a condom balloon, back in his mouth, but he doesn't want to. I think poison maybe. But the guy he takes his baton and he starts to hit him on the teeth, and his teeth are all gone. Now you don't see this because he flips up the chair, so you only see the legs, and then he tries to muffle the condom in, but it ripped, and but the guy was dead, but already dead. It was a little bit too harsh, to say the least. Now, of course, these cameramen like David, he's Mexican. He's completely opposed doing this, and he's just holding the camera, and because all the females are held in the nude in a separate room, but they're lucky that they just I mean, lucky, that's a big word, but they are chained on their feet, while the men are in their underpants hanging like this, and they have to sleep like that. I would go crazy. I would go crazy. Your arms getting numb, and Jesus. Now, there's this moment when they wanna play a game, and I thought, oh, here it comes. So they take Alberto, the guy they were following and hoping to bring to their family, and his wife is on this contraption where her hands are chained like this and her feet are chained. So, like, if you turn, it would expand and eventually she would be ripped apart. But they want to make it fair. They want fair. They want to make a quiz out of it. Everybody who had come into to the United States has to do a test, right? A citizens test. Now they're doing that. They're they're asking the questions, but in English. And the guy is, oh no, Espanol, Espanol, no, no, English. You're in America, English, boy. And he answers every answer wrong but one, and his wife gets just torn apart. And also William, the more stubborn guy from the group who didn't want to give his name, he's whispering a answer, and Z pretends that he didn't hear that, just takes the gun and blows his head off. So one American gone. Now the American team knows that they're not playing around anymore because Z told them not to say anything, just to film and answer when asked for, right? So eventually, Alberto, they say um, that Alberto is also a camera guy in Mexico, and we need him to hold the second camera, so they save his life, so to speak. He's, of course, completely distraught, but they all had daughters with them. Now they let the children go, and they say, follow the moon, and you come to Mexico in Espanol. And then I think, okay, that this, every child is gonna be eaten by a coyote or something, or whatever. Now he still has his daughter to look out for. Okay, so there is a moment when they try to escape. They can. They they get out, but they say to the people that are hanging there, they say, "We're coming back for you. We're coming back for you." Now outside, there's all barbed wire and fences, and what do they see? A dead daughter of Alberto in the barbed wire. I guess she was attacked because there's a pit bull, a few pit bulls that are attacking the American documentarian team, and I guess she got scared or attacked, and she flew in the barbed wire, and she died. And now, of course, Alberto is completely, I mean, he's a shallow man actually, but still with immense rage. And they get caught, but Jim, the sound guy, gets really bitten and torn up in the leg. They get him to the infirmary, and also in the beginning they think, okay, they're kind of nice because they're always having breakfast with Z, pancakes, bacon, eggs, everything. But that false sense of security it goes away the moment they want to escape. And there are multiple moments they try to escape, like, you know, shouldering a guy in the nuts, taking his gun, holding a gun against C, and that everybody has to lower the gun, and that Alberto is saying, "Kill him! He's the devil! He's the devil!" in Spanish. And of course, David is trying to get a gun, but then Travis, who has the gun, gets zapped from behind with one of those cattle prod thingies, and Alberto gets shot in the head. Boom. Another member of their team dead. And then what they do, they only have Alberto and Liz and Travis left. Now they take Travis and Liz and Alberto. They say, before you go, we want to give you a Mexican goodbye party. So they're doing stupid shit like Mexican dancing, those hats, and a pinata, and they shoot up Travis full of drugs. And they also mark them with one of those cattle markers. You know, you put a flag, they're hot, and an insignia is pushed on you. Travis doesn't feel it because he's completely fucked up. Liz does feel it. She didn't want, because she could also take the syringe, but she didn't want to be shut up with drugs. And Travis is swinging with a bat full of nails, like in The Walking Dead, Negan's bat. And he starts to hit the pinata. Blood's coming out of the pinata, and guess who's in the pinata? Is Jim. So Travis killed Jim accidentally. They put him, and they knew they're assholes. They're fucked up people beyond all recognition. Because you have the scene where uh, this guy is lucky; he will get away. But first, we're gonna take some organs out of him. So they also deal in the black market organ trade. They take the liver out. Now the doctor seems like super unqualified. He cuts him up, blood spats in his face, and he says, you're a screwer. And he takes the liver out, and then they say to Z, he's got a lot of good organs here. And then Z's like, just take whatever you can fit in the cooler. And the guy isn't put asleep. The guy's maybe they tranquilized him locally, but normally for those kind of procedures, you're not. So yeah, things like that. Lucky you don't see the gore. You see it for a second. Like you didn't see the wife being, I mean, ripped open. You see it on their face. And Travis had enough. A guy comes in. Z wants Liz probably to rape her or something, and eventually Travis body slams him with Alberto. They kill him. They take his gun and the keys. They shot another guy in the leg with the baseball bat. Then it's my dog. She's being weird. Then um, they eventually release all the male prisoners. Now that's a good thing because all these male prisoners start to revolt and start to attack the patriots and unarm them and just fucking kicking their teeth out. And in the meantime, they get out, but Z's following them. They see a pickup truck, but still Z's following them, and they don't know. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. Now this movie, I thought it's gonna be so gross and with that children fucked up, and yeah, it's gross, but it's more psychological. It gave me a feeling that these kind of groups and these kind of settlements, these like cattle ranches that are, you know, abandoned on the border with no man's land. Basically, it's no man's, it's desert area. And okay, ICE does their um, patrolling, but it's still not enough. And I think that this may happen, really happen. And I'm not here to talk politics, but I know that it's an issue right now in the United States, and Yeah, it's you give you get a feeling of sadness. That's the better word. Not yeah, and re, re, revulsion too. Your revol, your I mean, a bad feeling, repulsive feeling, that pulse of bad people, asshole pieces of shit. That's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. And of course, you get the feeling that these things exist, and I truly believe that. Now, this movie gets a 5.8, which is a pretty good score. For me, it gets a 5. It's a one-time watch. I don't like seeing that. Not that I don't want to be confronted with the truth, with maybe can be a truthful thing, but more so that just it gives me it gets me down. It's a downer. It's just yeah, how these humans and all yeah that I forgot that the body that they found in the tunnel was actually by these guys, and they have a doctor. I think his name is Klaus, um, who reminds me of a doctor. Now, this is a little history lesson. Dr. Mengele, who was the Nazi main surgeon, but he actually operated on live Jewish people. And he wanted to see what he can do and how far he could take it. And this guy does the same thing. And he wanted to make a human scarecrow with their eyes out and lights in their eyes in front of the tunnel so Mexican people would be scared off and run away. But apparently he said the body in there wasn't enough. So I'm gonna make a new project. So he's like that Nazi doctor. It's fucked up. It's fucked up like hell. So yeah, give it a watch if you there's suspense, right? There's good suspense. Um, the only thing that I thought the acting is good. The documentarians are doing a good job. The patriots are doing a good job. The uh, immigrants, the coyote gets killed rightfully because he's a criminal. He gets his head blown off. But and you have some tense moments. The only thing that I really didn't care for was that they had three opportunities to escape, so that they really have a gun and they can, first time they didn't have gun, but their door was open. It was like they were playing a game with them. I'm not sure, but and five or six of these patriots left the compound. But I thought, okay, there are like at least ten in there of this because you have this Z guy and all the his cronies standing behind him. There weren't 5, 6 people, but I had they bouched it up every time. They should have when the second time when the traffic gets a gun, David should have handled quicker. Get that gun. See, look at Travis's back and shoot. Don't think. Shoot and shoot Z immediately through the head. Don't just let him live. Shoot the fucking asshole. That was something about shoot. Just shoot the fucker. And he's standing there. "Ah, we're gonna ah!" And we're like an AK-47 lying with a Glock was lying there, 9 millimeter. Nobody picks up weapons. Then David proceeds to take a weapon, but he's so slow that a tortoise would, a, a turtle would be faster. that really irritated me, and that's not realistic. If that was a real thing and they get the upper hand, immediately David and Liz would take the AK, or David would take the AK, the closest weapon to you, David the Glock, Liz taking the AK, or Alberto taking the AK, and shooting them up, shooting these guys up, because nobody's gonna miss them, because they're all, nobody's gonna hear you scream, baby. And that's a quote from Alien. So that's something that frustrated me. So yeah, it's a five. Maybe give it a look. Uh, it's hard reality, mate. It can be a hard reality, uh, but maybe you gotta see things to understand things in this movie. I don't know. So that was that undocumented. Um, Hope you subscribe. It's free. I'm aiming to keep this channel a free channel. Even if I get a lot of subscribers, I still want to keep it free. And I'm hoping that I at some point can chat with, beginning actors like Cinema did with Sienna from The Terrifier, Laura de la Vera, or so, I'm not sure what her name, Laura de la Vera or something. Uh, they did that. Something I hope, or doing a a lot, like a log with many people, many reviewers. That's fun. So that's things that I hope to accomplish in the future, but everything is free. Everything is free. That's what I want to do. So, people, adios, goodbye, guten Tag, goeiedag, and I see you later. Have a nice day.